have a predictable yet still a bummer of a topic all the same for today's video. Over on Patreon, I guess Mykelti was responding to a comment from a patron, and she revealed that something happened at one of Garrison's funerals that effectively put an end to her relationship with her dad and Robyn. We have a lot to talk about. Let's get into today's video. Hey everyone, what's up? It's Sarah and welcome back to my channel. We are officially less than a week out from the highly anticipated premiere of season 19 of Sister Wives. The show is almost 2 years behind where the Brown family is at in real life. At the end of season 18, we left off with Cody and Mary finally putting an end to their marriage situationship. 2024 has been a very tragic year for the Browns, but on the show, we haven't actually gotten past 2022 yet. In the press release a few weeks ago, TLC revealed that the passing of Garrison will be featured this season. Garrison Brown sadly passed away in March of 2024. The trailers that have been released for the new season teases about life where we left off way back in 2022. So by all indications, this is going to be a long season, or we are going to have some time jumps as the show catches up to the Browns family's real life. With the move to Flagstaff and since Christine left Cody, and over the last few seasons, Cody's abandonment of his children has been a focal point on the show. Cody has accused both Christine and Janelle of leading shit-talking campaigns against him, which all of the kids refute as not being true. And I mean, we see on the show and in the press, Christine and Janelle continually praised Cody as a good dad up until I'd say like a year or so ago. And they never shit talked him. They just stopped lying for him. For me, one of the saddest things is that one of the last things that Garrison said on season 18 was that Robyn could take Cody and that the kids didn't need a father figure anymore. That is fucking rough to process. The only child of Cody's that didn't hail from the McMansion that actually purported to have a good relationship with Robyn and Cody was Christine and Cody's second oldest daughter, Mykelti. We all suffered through that awkward outside goodbye that Mykelti forced everyone to participate in season 17. I know for myself, I kind of have just always felt bad for Mykelti. I cannot imagine having a father like Cody. I can't imagine constantly striving to earn favor with someone who should have been biologically programmed to love you. The treatment of the children is really just the most glaring example about how fucked fundamental polygamy really is. It's really the kids who suffer the most. I've subscribed to Mykelti's Patreon since the beginning. I think she's been doing her Patreon for over a year and a half or so. And I remember at one point someone asked her about her relationship with Robyn and her dad. And she acknowledged that she has to do like 3 times the amount of work that Robyn and Cody do, or else they probably wouldn't have a relationship. But Mykelti said she was willing to do that for the sake of her kids, to have grandparents in their lives. The more grandparents, the merrier, according to Mykelti at the time. And honestly, I cannot blame Mykelti for earnestly wanting a relationship with her dad. Throughout season 17 and 18, we learn more about this particularly close bond that Mykelti has had with Robyn. She was sent to live with Robyn and be her live-in childcare when she was like 13 or 14 years old. Well, most of us looking in from the outside are like, well, that's kind of messed up. Mykelti actually viewed this as liberating. She has recounted how she struggled to fit in and get along with her siblings growing up. I get the sense that Mykelti always marched to the beat of her own drum. It seems like the rest of her family didn't really get her. And then Robyn comes along and maybe Mykelti considers that they are both considered outsiders, so it draws her to Robyn. I honestly don't know. I'm just speculating there. Mykelti has said Robyn always treated her like an adult, and she appreciated that when she was often left out of the older kid group. When Mykelti gave birth to Avalon, that was right around the time Christine said enough was enough with Cody. Relationships were definitely not good amongst the adults, and Mykelti had Robyn attend Avalon's birth via Skype. And I just remember thinking that Christine was such a saint for being cordial and accommodating throughout Mykelti's labor. The last thing I'd be wanting to do is be tech support for my husband's mistress during my daughter's labor. In season 18, Avalon celebrates her first birthday over at the McMansion, and Cody and Robyn tell us that they appreciate the fact that they have a relationship with Mykelti, Tony, and Avalon. Robyn and Cody recount how Robyn always felt particularly close to Tony and was really the only mom that was excited when Mykelti brought him home and announced their intention to marry. As you guys probably remember, Mykelti announces her intention to marry Tony just mere months after meeting him and about 5 minutes into Madison's wedding planning to everyone's favorite, Caleb Brush. So this did not go over well. Tony was not received well by especially Christine, and I don't know if Tony and Mykelti ever got over that. I mean, they probably did. They are grown-ups. They seem to have a great relationship with Christine now, but they certainly have ridden hard for Robyn and Cody over the years, especially for Robyn during these last couple seasons while the family has fallen apart. Garrison's death was a tragedy that no family member, no sibling, no parent should ever have to go through. Christine's wedding special was a bookend on season 18 that aired in January of 2024. Garrison passed in March. And to be honest, I think a lot of people assumed that that was probably going to be it for the show. Our collective hearts, for those of us who have watched the show for years, who have watched these kids grow up, I mean, it really wrecked us all. I cannot imagine what the family has been going through these last 6 months. I don't think anyone would have judged the family for pulling the plug on the entire show. We saw a lot of the siblings, some who didn't have good relationships with each other, come together as a group and support each other. It was certainly my hope that this would be a turning point for the family. Well, it seems like it's turned out not the way I hoped. It didn't lay the foundation to healing. Instead, it seems like permanent rifts have been solidified. For those of us who are on Mykelti's Patreon, we've been noticing little things that Mykelti and Tony have said over the last couple months that indicated maybe things weren't all good with Robyn and Cody. I think it was like a month or so ago, Mykelti made an observation on Patreon that events that should have brought the family together didn't. Then Mykelti and Tony announced that they were moving to North Carolina, and I have no doubt Christine will travel to visit her grandkids, but I seriously doubt Cody will commit to taking an airplane to visit his kids and grandkids. In my mind, I'm like, well, if Mykelti is the one that has to make like 75% of the effort, this just became a FaceTime relationship at best. Then Cody and Robyn listed the McMansion, and Tony was completely blindsided. And a lot of people were like, how close could you guys really be these days if you had no idea they were even thinking of moving? And I mean, they had no idea what their next steps are. They don't know if they're downsizing or upsizing, if they're staying in Flagstaff, if they're developing on the property. They are as in the dark as the rest of us are. And that's really sad. Mykelti even said that she is looking forward to season 19 to learn about what's going on in her dad and Robyn's lives. So clearly there has been a falling out of some kind. Yesterday on Reddit, I saw this alleged comment from Mykelti. So I went over to her Patreon to see if I could verify its legitimacy, and sadly, it's a real comment. On that 15-minute reaction Tony did to the listing, they got some comments from some of their patrons. One person wrote, "So what happened between you guys and Cody and Robyn? The whole time you led us to believe you were close and that they were part of your children's lives. Now you're telling us that you don't know they are moving or what they are up to? Sorry, but it doesn't add up." Well, Mykelti responded to that, and her response breaks my heart. She writes, "Hey, we try very hard to say what we can while respecting our families and relationships. We don't lie. To give you some insights, it's true we have always been super supportive of Robyn. Yes, lately it may seem that has changed. There are things that happened during the recent funeral that are the reason for that. We won't be talking about those events, so you're not totally wrong. Anyhow, thanks for supporting and watching. Hope this helps a little." That is heartbreaking to read. I don't know what has been filmed for the show as far as celebrations of life for Garrison, but Mykelti had let us know back in March that there were several events planned to honor him. There was a private funeral, there was the National Guard memorial, and then the family was planning a family reunion at Cody's Wyoming ranch, and it took place right before the 4th of July holiday. Mykelti had talked about that reunion, but when the event rolled around, she didn't go. We know that filming has already started for season 20, so I don't know what the fallout of Garrison's passing is going to look like on the show, but I know those of us who have watched the show for years are ready to support the Browns. Personally, I'm going to take my lead from Janelle. I'm going to look towards her and what she's willing to share and go from there. She did just post a very sweet tribute to him on the 6-month anniversary of his passing. What are your thoughts on what Mykelti had to say? It's really heartbreaking, right? I'm so disappointed to hear that this tragedy wasn't the spark that Cody needed to make amends with his children. It seems his personality afflictions are actually worse than I thought. Anyways, let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to my channel. Check out my second channel, Sarah Spills. A link for that will be in the description of this video. Follow me on Instagram, Threads, and X at Reality Squad, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Take care. Have a good one. Much love.